This one mindset shift will change your entire life. Hi, welcome back to the DWICF show, where you are encouraged and motivated to do what you came for. My name is Mimi, and in this video, I'll be talking about one mindset that has had the greatest impact on my life. So from reading so many books to listening to podcasts and watching interviews of people who have kind of made success with their lives or made impact in different ways, I've seen that this particular mindset cuts across all of them. So let's jump right in. This mindset is called stewardship. Stewardship. And the dictionary meaning of stewardship is stewardship, the act of taking care of or managing something. And it also defines a steward as a person employed to manage another person's property. So I was a commercial student in secondary school and I did accounting. And we were told that in the history of accounting started from this concept of stewardship, where merchants, rich people who had a lot of property, would not manage their property by themselves, but then they would hand it over to people who were called stewards to watch over it, to take care of it, and then they would have to render accounts like, oh, what was done, what proceeds was gotten, who dropped money, all those kind of things. And that was where the whole idea of accounting came from. Don't worry, this video isn't about accounting, but the concept of stewardship, the central concept of stewardship, is that you are managing something that isn't really yours. So there is someone who is owner of this, who has given something to you as a trust, and you are now going to give account to the owner of that thing. So how does the whole thing apply to your life? Rick Warren, in the book The Purpose Driven Life, said that life is a test, a trust, and a temporary assignment. So the whole idea of this is that your life has been given to you as a trust. The mindset shift is to see your life as that. So basically, not to just see your life as, oh, it's my life, I'm just going to do whatever it is, but to see it as something that someone has given to you to take care of, to manage, where you are responsible and you will be accountable for what is done with that life. This whole idea of stewardship reminds me of a story in the Bible. It's a popular story, the story of the talents, where there was a master who had servants, and he was going to travel out. He was going to go to another land, and then he gave 3 of his servants. He gave one 5 talents, he gave another 2 talents, and the final guy, he gave him 1 talent. So I think talents is like money in that time. So he gave each of them talents, and then he traveled and then came back. And his expectation was that they would come with returns. They were supposed to give accounts, and then one person came and said, oh, I did this with this, and this is what I brought back for you. Another person said, oh, I did this, I added 2 to my 2, and I brought 4 back for you. And the other guy was like, whoa, don't stress me. I've dropped this somewhere for you. So when you're ready, let me bring it for you, and all of that. But the central idea of this whole thing is that God, your creator, God who gave you breath, God who gave you life, has given this life to you as a trust. I remember in uni, I was invited to speak at a freshers event. So we're doing freshers welcome, and I was told to speak on the subject of academics, academic excellence, and all of that. But I knew that every other thing will be sorted once these students get this idea of stewardship right. All I was saying was that do not see your academics as something that is just yours. See it as something that has been entrusted into your hands, and then you would have to give account for this. It is required. So what are stewards supposed to be doing? It is required of stewards to be found faithful. So now that we've established that we are supposed to see our lives as trust, as things that have been given to us to steward. Now, what is your job description as a steward? Your job description as a steward is to be found faithful. And again, what does the dictionary say about faithfulness? Faithfulness is the ability to be trusted or relied on. So basically, being trustworthy is being faithful, meaning that the person who gave this to you can say, okay, this person is going to do what I've told the person to do with this thing that I've given him. Brings us back to the quote of Rick Warren that says life is a test, it is a trust and it is a temporary assignment, meaning that all that there is to life is not just what we see. The story of our lives is basically just that there's a God who has given this to us as a trust, as a test, and as a temporary assignment. Like this will end, and then we will now have to give account to how we did all that we do. So now let's bring this in. How does this, like, how can I actually be faithful as a steward practically? So I think of this in so many ways. For instance, physically, in your fitness, in how you use your body. This mindset would affect it in the sense that you know that this body isn't mine. It has been given to me to function on the earth, and I would also give account of how I used my body. So it's now a thing of, okay, I want to be a good steward of my body. I want to be found faithful. I want it to be that when I'm to give account of how I used my body, it is said that I used it well. It just even changes how you see a lot of things. Like this concept of stewardship just changes why. It just gives you a why. It gives you a stronger why. It gives you a stronger reason for doing the things that you do. So if I'm working out, I want to be a good steward of this body that has been given to me. If you're eating clean, it's as a result of I want to be a good steward of these things that have been given to me. Also, I think about, friendships, relationships that we have. How does this idea of stewardship affect it? It's a thing of these people that are in my life. They are not there by accident. They have also been given to me as a trust, meaning that this is a resource that God expects to profit from. If you know that, okay, I'm supposed to be faithful. So what will faithfulness look like for me in this friendship, in this relationship? Is it checking up? But just that idea of, okay, this friendship also has been given to me as a trust. Everything in my life has been given to me as a trust, and I am required to be found faithful. What about someone in school, your academics? If you see your academics as something that has been given to you and something that you would give account of, you know that faithfulness would look like showing up to classes on time. It will look like, so even change. So this idea of stewardship changes your why, also even changes your measurement of success. So make sure that it changes your why in the sense that now there's a greater reason, there's a strong reason for what you're doing. So you're saying, I'm doing this because I know I'm going to give account. The person who gave me this life as a trust would ask for returns, would require account, and what is required is my faithfulness. Also, it changes your metrics for measuring success in the sense that it is no longer about the grades, but it's about the fact that I did all that I was supposed to do. I attended classes. So what is required of me? Faithfulness. So faithfulness in my academics looks like studying, attending classes, what all of that. So basically, this whole thing just shifts your mind. What about parenting? Knowing that, okay, these children are given to me as a trust. I'm a caretaker, I'm a manager of these resources, and God expects to profit from this. God expects to profit from this, to gain from this, and I would give account. It just gives you a different level of responsibility. Also, I think about this thing of stewardship, even in your mind. So knowing that this mind has been given to me as a trust, like it's not my own, I'm going to give account of what I allowed. I'm responsible for it. So I mentioned that this concept of stewardship changes your why. It gives you a stronger reason. It changes how you even measure success. It changes your success metrics, and also it just gives you a sense of responsibility. So being faithful in your mind will look like guarding it, knowing, okay, I can't allow this to enter. This is not allowed here. Or knowing, okay, what do I allow to stay? So basically, this mindset has transformed how I see a lot of things in my life and how I see my life generally. And I believe that you adopting this into your mind would actually just change how you see a lot of things, because having a stronger why will motivate you to do things that you're supposed to do. Even your talents, their trust, they're things that God has given to you to steward. This channel is a trust that God has given to me to steward. So showing up is from a different point of view, that okay, there's a stronger why, there's a stronger reason for this. Yeah. I'm talking to myself, but really, as just like every other discipline, every other thing, this mindset of stewardship requires practice. It requires you to always constantly ask yourself, what would faithfulness look like in this thing? What does God expect from me in this thing, in this endeavor, in this career, in this workplace? What does God expect from me, and it even just shifts your mindset away from maybe an employer, a physical employer, to the fact that everything you are supposed to do, you have to do it as unto the Lord. That's another scripture in the Bible that says, whatever you do, washing plates, whatever you do, you are doing it as unto the Lord, knowing that all of this has been given to you as a trust from God. So I really hope that this encouraged you, inspired you, and motivated you to actually do what you came for, knowing that this life that you've been given is a test, a trust, and a temporary assignment. Till next time, bye.